Okay, I think that's working.
All right, we recording?
Yep, and it caught your audio. Excellent, we're good.
Heck yeah. Yeah, okay, awesome. We're just gonna do a podcast episode
We're
because
just gonna
fuck it,
kick
because
into
we're,
this.
we're
So,
talking about physics and
right,
language. So you had a
and
question,
how
bro.
our
Let's hit it.
minds work.
Yeah.
So we've established that we think pretty similarly, right? And you
Yes.
say you're a visual, you try to visual spatial, right? So you try and
Yep.
see how the world works. One of the other things I'm learning is that I actually process information through sound very effectively.
Me too.
I can listen to things at 2+ times speed and retain information,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
So I'm like, but you just talking about how you communicate in visual spatial ways through
Yes.
language.
Yes.
I found it extremely fascinating
Yes.
because I was like, oh,
That
that's probably how information moves through language the most effectively.
yes. And that's what makes me really good at hypnotherapy
Okay.
is because I can create three-dimensional. So when I was first of all, I'm a very much I can listen to audio, but the thing is so spatial and visual processing is the fastest,
Hmm.
which is why our mind moves so fast that we can grasp huge, impossible concepts. Because if you had to read a book, it's 1,000 pages. But if you give me one image with a concept, I can encapsulate all those words in it and just understand it at a glance without needing to go through word by word. Right. So, how does it feel for you to listen to things on normal speed?
Kind of slow. Like there's like I need you like come on man, like get to the point here. Like I need you to like hurry
Exactly.
it up a bit.
It's this like nails grating on a chalkboard. My wife is like, James, why don't you slow down? And it's like,
I was like I've got so
because
much to say.
if you just fucking told me what the point was,
Yeah.
we can go to the next thing. And the cool thing is when we have visual spatial, we can connect more dots than most people because
Hmm.
all the information is in front of us in a condensed packet of information.
Hmm.
So we can do that in our minds, right? Some people think we're bouncing around in ADHD, but what's actually happening is we see more of the map than they can, and they can't track and follow. They need us to break down one piece
They need
before
to
they
follow
can
all the
follow to
steps.
the
When I'm
next one.
like, don't you just see? They're all like right there. Don't you see him? And
Don't you
it's
see
like,
it?
but no,
Yes.
you gotta like point them all out.
Yes. So some people are sequential learners.
Hmm.
Step one, step two, step three. These are people who are really good at school. If you do this and study and do this and follow the process, you'll get a good grade. Some people are sequential. Other people need to actually start at the end and then deconstruct it and pull it apart so they can understand the whole first.
Hmm.
So, for instance, my wife is a very much a sequential learner, um, but also she's a very much abstract, vague, airy in the air, like concepts. And I'm like, I need to be able to touch it. I need to be able to know what it looks like. What do you mean when you say the word? Uh, I don't know what a word would be, but it's like cultural, blah, 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 blah. It's like, what does that? I don't have an image for that. I don't even know what that means. I know what the word is, but like,
Right.
what do you want me to know about it?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
What's the meat and potatoes of it?
when it's so abstract, right? It's like,
Abstract, yes.
yeah.
But the cool thing is we think abstractly with symbols and metaphors and images.
Yeah.
So math is a symbolic language.
Yes.
Those are very abstract terms, but you can say X. And it's like, I know what that means.
Right.
That
X
makes
is
sense?
X wherever. Yeah. No, I got physics, so I'm like I'm very good with the.
You get it. And this is why I love talking with people like you because we don't have to slow down and we can actually play ping pong at times five and
Yeah.
actually get something done.
Yeah, it is good. And I have met a handful of people like that, and it's always the most engaging conversations
Yes.
because you can jump like 5 steps, and you're like, oh, okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yes. So the cool thing, and this is what I'm very interested in, and not just interested, but like passionate about when it comes to language, is when I was a dancer and a dance instructor, before I learned hypnosis as a thing that I can do with my words, I learned how to do it with my body intuitively.
Hmm.
So when I was a dancer, I did this dance called kizomba, which is like an African version of tango. So you're dancing heart to heart, chest to chest with someone, sometimes for an hour,
Hmm.
right? Depending on the connection. And what I would do is I would synchronize them to my nervous system and my breath. And I would see before I even moved with them, I would open my arms, and because it's a woman, I would let them come to me. I wouldn't like, here, come on, baby. I would open up and invite, and then some women would just press in and smush in, right? Because they're comfortable. Some women needed to start out from the high school dance, like the sixth grade back and forth until they felt safe and connected. Then they inched inwards. But what I found is if I could get them to breathe with me, I would just shift my weight, and I call it dance whispering. If I can get them to just shift just slightly over here and they followed, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good dance. But if I had to be the Leaning Tower of Pisa to get them to shift weight, I'm like, okay, I got to train this chick, right? So if they could follow that subtlety, I would see if they could breathe with me. So I would exaggerate, and if they breathed with me, we're going on a mystical, magical carpet ride.
Right.
And what I would do is women would call me Butters. I was man bun guy, right? I had the top hat in my own way, man bun guy.
I remember that.
And they called me Butters.
Nice.
Because I would take people to other dimensions. The whole dance party would just drift away, and we would just be one soul moving on the dance floor. So I learned how to do that with my body. And then I learned I can do that same thing with words.
Interesting.
Yeah. So imagine you're an artist, but the only tool you've ever had was like a burnt stick, and all you had was a burnt stick, and you're like, I'm a mural. I paint murals with this burnt stick.
Mm-hmm.
But then someone introduces you to like pastels and like paint, and like now I have language. I can take people to different galaxies and solar systems by painting a picture in my mind and bringing them along the journey, instead of just using my body, which is good, but I can only do one person at a time.
Right.
And I'm limited to movement, which is a very, very slow 3-dimensional thing. But now I can transport someone to the ocean of love. Then they can become the sun. Then we can burn away the limiting beliefs in the ritual fire. And I can install the software on the laptop of their unconscious mind. And I just did 5 different things, and I'm just telling a story. I'm just talking. So it's so cool, bro. It's so cool.
So I do have a base question.
Hit me. I'm here for it. Yeah.
What is hypnosis from your perspective? Because I, for a very long time, and still am, very skeptical of it. Yeah. But I have had one hypnotic experience.
Yeah.
And it was at a concert by a musician called Rez. I don't know if you're familiar.
Nope.
But they're an EDM artist.
I love EDM.
Go ahead. It's good. Oh, it's my favorite. And Rez is one of my favorite artists in there. They do Red Rocks concert every year, and they have this one song called Relax. And I watched them just relax an entire EDM crowd at once, including myself, and it was incredible.
I just got chills. Yep.
It still blows my mind. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay.
Something there.
Okay, there's something here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have a very complex, nuanced perspective. And have you ever seen a Jason Mraz concert?
I don't think so, no.
So before dance, my older brother was a hip-hop artist. And, I grew up. He was 10 years older than me, and he was labeled one of the best MCs in Rochester. So I had a gateway. When I'm 5 years old, he's 15. He's going out and battling and stuff. And I'm like rapping about Pokemon cards because he was my idol. So what I did was when I was young and a teenager, I got to go up on stage with him and perform. So I got to see how, one person with the microphone can say, hey, ho, and then everyone's arms goes up, and then you're rocking to the beat. That's behavior change in real time. So, when you look at, I was always fascinated because when I'm a lead in dance, I'm leading the woman, but who am I following? I'm following the DJ. And the
Right.
DJ is leading the entire, sometimes thousands of people, a
Right.
stadium.
The crowd. Yeah.
And in order to lead 1,000 people, you have to be listening and following something bigger too.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's not just I'm telling you what to do I'm providing the music.
Mm.
I'm getting chills, bro. The DJ is dancing with the crowd.
Mm.
It's a call and response. So when I put something out there and I watch the ebb and flow of the energy of the room, I'm receiving feedback. And now I know where to take it because I'm a master of emotional rhythm,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in EDM, they take you up, peak, peak, peak,
Right.
peak, peak,
Right. Right.
drop,
Gotta
drop, drop,
drop it.
drop, drop.
Yeah.
Exactly, the drop.
Right. And that's what I judge a song on. It's like, all right, can you
Yes.
master? Can you land the drop? If you can't
Yep.
land the drop, you're
You ain't
back in the
it.
studio.
Yeah. So imagine that, but instead of lyrics and beats, drums, which is a trance maker,
Mm.
trance dance, right? It's the oldest technology that we have is
Mm.
our drums and movement, dance. That's trance. See, what's hypnosis?
Yeah.
Trance.
Interesting.
Um,
Right.
but now with the tonality of my words,
Right.
and if I just start to talk like this, and just start to say the word deep sleep, deep sleep, and I start to slow down, what naturally happens is because me and you are synchronized like a metronome, we're on the same wavelength. If I now start to, it's called pacing and leading, we're paced, which
Right.
means we're running neck and neck in the race and we're next to each other. Now, if I start to pick up the tempo, what happens? Well, you have to come, you have to meet me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm not going to lose,
Right.
right? So when you can pace someone's experience in a very easy, and I'll teach you hypnosis right now, to pace an experience is just, can I point something out in their reality that they can verify and unconsciously say yes to? Meaning, just feel the sensations of the air coming out of your nose. And as you do that, notice the weight of gravity pulling you down. And can you feel your fingertips?
Mm-hmm.
And as you listen to the sound of my voice, you can begin to relax your shoulders. And as your shoulders begin to relax, you may find your breathing starting to slow and deepen. And as your breathing relaxes and slows and deepens, you may notice the eyeballs and the blinking starting to slow down. That's right. And just notice, what are you feeling in your body just based on like 15 seconds of leading?
Very calm.
Exactly. Because I calmed my nervous system down and I slowed it down. So therefore, because we're synchronized, your brain waves start to slow down, and you can do that to an entire audience. That's hypnosis. It's not a thing. Hypnosis is nothing. Hypnosis is everything. If you're speaking, you're hypnotizing. If you're listening, you're being hypnotized. Books transport people. Movies is hypnosis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, and admittedly, one of the things that I thought about when you were like describing that is one of the things that I've done is I do D&D and DMing, and I've crafted worlds and brought people through stories,
Yes, you're
right?
hypnotizing. Yep.
And I'm like, oh, and I've successfully completed 2 campaigns, and it is one of the best things to actually
Yeah.
conclude a
Yeah.
campaign. So few people say they can say that they've done that.
Yep.
And like the first time I did it by accident, the second time I did it intentionally, and the time I
Mm.
did it intentionally, where I like had a plan for it, it was very satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many people were you leading through the campaign?
At that point, 4.
Yep. So basically, you were the shaman sitting around the campfire, and you were creating the sacred container for a journey. And the reason why we're good at trance as human beings, whereas like it's hard to hypnotize a dog,
Sure, yeah,
right?
sure.
Right? But the reason why human beings we're actually trance beings. We spend most of our day in trance. We just are
Mm,
in not very useful trances. We're in the anger trance. We're in the shit talking trance. We're in the poor me trance,
right.
right?
Whatever the auto default is.
Whatever you've been trained,
Yeah.
entrainment, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you grew up in an indigenous society, they don't even use the head as a compass. Like most of us
Mm,
spend most of our time in our head. Most of them say it's actually the heart that we spend the most of the time in. They just sit. They sit and just be and just enjoy the wind, and they talk to the trees and the animals
right.
because they're slower, right? So when you go into that brainwave state of heart coherence, then what happens is more of the universe and nature can talk back to you because it's not running at the speed of the internet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And this, oh god, the speed of the internet is so freaking fast.
Yeah. Never before have we seen this shit.
No, so new, so
Yeah.
untested, such uncharted territory.
Yeah, man. So I love to play now. Now that you kind of have an awareness of hypnosis, this is so fascinating. I'd love to ask you a little bit more about the D&D experience.
Sure.
Um, so did you notice that through that story arc that you took them through, there were ups and downs, and like, can you explain a little bit more about how you went from accident to intentionally crafting a journey to take people on, which is what hypnosis is?
That's a good story. That's a good story. Cause yeah, um, the first one that I did, um, I was bringing people through a campaign that I was sort of designing on the fly.
Hmm.
And it had started from some sort of adventure that we'd, um, used as like a seed template. But I started customizing it pretty early on, because I'm always like tinkering with stuff. And I learned pretty early on, I don't want to follow what someone else has written. Um, and so go through that. I find a place where I could call it an end, because in the beginning I didn't have in this campaign there was no idea of where it was gonna end or
Hmm.
where it was gonna go. It was just, we want to play D&D, we're gonna find a story. But through that, natural story arcs developed. Um, and so at the end of it, when I ended it, I could tell that it wasn't very satisfying, and there was parts that I missed. And
Hmm.
when you've done something, you can always tell looking back on, like, oh, here's all the ways that I could have improved it,
Yeah,
right?
Monday morning quarterback. Uh-huh.
Right. But what I did then was I was like, okay, I want to figure out how to stick the landing, because I've also noticed in story that's the hardest part.
Hmm.
People always screw up the ending. And then I looked into it and I researched it and I realized why. And it's because you almost have to plan the ending before you've started the story or even started writing the story for it to usually end up wrapping up satisfyingly. You can garden your way into an ending,
Hmm.
but it often doesn't quite have that satisfying hit at the end,
Yeah.
at least in my experience.
Hmm.
Um, So what I did is I actually studied Brandon Sanderson and his storytelling stuff and his world building.
I'm gonna write it down.
Oh,
Brandon
he's
Sanderson.
my favorite author right now. He is
Hmm.
prolific, and he's currently writing one of the biggest interconnected universes in fiction,
Mm.
called the Cosmere, which has, what was the last count? 27 books in it so far,
Okay.
and it's just getting started.
I can feel your passion. Go ahead.
It's great.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually thinking about running a D&D campaign they have an RPG system
Yeah.
for it, and I've
Uh-huh.
read every book in it, so I like have all the lore so I could run a game anyway.
Ooh. Me, I want you to know just the point. Me and you, even when we get excited, we even do the same thing. We're like, anyway, like
Right?
I did the same thing. Uh-huh.
Um so yes, I studied he has free lectures on YouTube you can watch. They're college lectures he did about storytelling and world building. They're great. Highly
Yep.
recommend.
Mhm.
Um and so I then was like, okay, I want to build a basic um world building area for the purposes of having a ending. And the ending I picked was, I want my heroes to save the world from destruction, right? Pretty
Okay.
generic, but it's like, okay. Um and then for the world building exercise, it's actually pretty simple. You take Earth and you change like 4 or 5 things.
Mm.
So the first thing I did was I got rid of all the other planets and took the star and the Earth and plopped them in their own tiny pocket dimension with nothing else.
Mm.
And I made them tidally locked so that the Earth revolved once per year.
Mm-hmm.
I then shifted the continents so that the poles had the land masses
Mm-hmm.
and made it so that they would be habitable all year round, and they would have the
Mm-hmm.
seasons because of the revolving star. Then I put a eternal hurricane on the sun side. It
Mm-hmm.
was powered by the sun, and an
Mm-hmm.
ice sheet on the back of the planet that
Mm-hmm.
slowly shifted over the course of a year on top of a giant ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I made it slightly bigger so that all the plants and fauna could be gigantized, and then I made the dominant species on the planet cephalopods and squids.
Squids. I get it now. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And made the shell the magic connected to animal shells,
Mm-hmm.
connected to the sun. And then threw D&D mechanics on top of it,
Uh-huh.
and created. Do I have the picture for it? Oh, it's not around here somewhere. I had a painting for it somewhere, but it's not on my wall. It's probably out there somewhere. But yeah, that was the first ever world that I world built for, and then threw 4 players in it and had them. The reason this pocket dimension was created was to trap a lich who was
Yeah. Villain.
unkillable.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, we don't want to deal with him, so we'll just make a tiny pocket dimension and make it their problem. And so they're like, for the Lich to escape, he needs to destroy the world and get out into the greater galaxy and universe.
And
And I'm
then the
like,
band of brothers come by and
right? And they
yeah.
accidentally steal his phylactery on the first mission, and they're like, oh no, we've been bamboozled into the greater plot.
I love this. Uh-huh.
And then, the other thing is that I wanted it to be like piratey and have a ship. So there are like ships that travel along the hurricane between the two cities
Mm-hmm.
as a trade network highway. And I made the top city chaotic good and the bottom city lawful evil.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like the difference between the first and the second go around was you use someone else's framework and structure to play the game and to have fun, and you kind of edited it to make it your own flavor as you went.
Mm.
Whereas the second one, you put all of the everything in the lore, the background. The wireframe of the entire
Mm-hmm.
journey was of your mind, and therefore it was probably more. It felt more like a baby than it's like, oh, I borrowed this baby over here. I was like, I love it, but it's not my baby,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there is a level 2 that I created,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't end up resulting in a satisfying ending,
Mm-hmm.
because the thing fell apart due to scheduling and stuffs. But I did do a West Marches style campaign after this one,
Okay.
which is a campaign where instead of just having a core group of 4 people, you have like a collection of people, and whoever is available on that particular day goes out on an adventure and
Okay.
then comes back.
Yep.
And then I built it around a little town that they would always come back to, and made it like Saturday morning cartoon style, where you would go out and always come back, and there would be like
Very good.
overarching plot, but ever going forward. But that one, the specific design around that one, was putting in as much chaos as possible and having it be player driven and putting in as little of the skeleton as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty successful, but I think that may also have suffered from too much chaos and too little structure.
And that's the balance. That's the balance of everything. I
Mm-hmm.
find that in a lot of entrepreneurs. I quit my job so that I can be my own boss. And now I have no structure. And now I am fucking depressed and need to go get a new job.
Yep.
The chaos is great, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's cool. So to land the plane on that thought, so let's take me to the end where you said there's a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
How did you land the plane, and why was it more satisfying?
So in that one particularly, I think what I successfully did is I bought the players into what I wanted or where I wanted them to go or what the end of the story
Yep.
was, right? And I was like, I tied it to things they cared about, things that their players were interested in, and it's like one of the lessons I took from that is if you want the players to care about it, find something that the players care about in the world and attach what you want them to care about to it, right?
Yes.
And so they're like, oh, we wanted a ship, so I'm like, oh, here's a ship, here's your crew. Oh, this
Ha.
crew's in danger now. Oh no, you've got attachments to all these. Like, oh
Perfect.
great, look, and it's like I didn't know which ones they attached to. I gave them like 20 characters, and like five of
Yep.
them were the ones that they attached to. But then
That's
you,
cool. So basically, you learned through this process that if you are going to have a communal based system where it's a world, if it's just your world, they don't have the same emotional attachment. But if you give them creative rights and you let them
mm-hmm,
place their values and their little sandbox mode into the game, they became co-creators,
mm-hmm. And there's some
and
buy-in,
therefore,
yeah,
and there's buy-in, yes, and then they were more attached because it's part of them too.
mm-hmm.
So you created the container, and then they filled it with. They were the liquid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I supplied the vase. They're the flowers.
Exactly. So you became the DJ,
Yeah.
and you became the dungeon master,
Mm-hmm.
dragon master. I don't know. I've
Game
never
master, dungeon master. They
game
say.
master. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, and that's masculine and feminine polarity. And within polarities are power. So you had a
Mm.
powerful experience because you held a pole, they held a pole, you were guiding them on the journey, they were having the experience, you were dancing with them with your words. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Very fascinating.
And we
Yeah,
just tied it back into the dance metaphor.
very
Heck
good.
yeah.
That is a good perspective and an interesting way to look at sort of hypnotism is sort of like a more like general thing.
Yeah. And can we shift gears into the concepts of identity? Because that's where
Cool.
I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
go with
yeah.
me and you. And first of all, we're totally gonna freaking upload this somewhere, bro.
Yeah, no, I can put this on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
This is dope. I'm putting it on mine too. I got my
Yep.
Spotify and YouTube, and I'm gonna share it on school. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'll
I'll
send
be
it to
like,
you.
yo, my guy Zach, my guy Zach. Fuck yeah. Okay, so yeah, so now this is where I wanted to talk to you specifically because you have the image, and those are your paintings that you've painted behind you.
So not that one, but I have done. Here's this one. Is actually one I
So you're an artist.
like. Yeah, in some fashion. I wouldn't call myself good, but I
Nice. I love it.
I've
Nice.
got my
Yeah,
favorites.
very good. Yeah, so I was thinking because last time we chatted, I think we're in the game.
Yep.
And I saw your hat and I was like, hey man, I love the hat. And you were like, yeah, I get that like 16 times a day. And I was like, I bet you do,
Appreciate that.
because it's a nice hat. Um, and I think I heard you say you help people with image and
That's what I
becoming
wanted. Yeah, and I'm working towards that. I haven't like officially done anything like that, and I'm still like building it as I go. I've got like
good.
a founding offer kind of thing, but
Very good.
I've identified that that is the direction I want to. I'm like, I like helping people be themselves, and to that end, finding connections like this is like the whole game.
Perfect. Perfect. Very good. So that's what I wanted to talk about because my whole life, when I grew up, I was very poor, and all my clothes were hand me downs, secondhand thrift store. I didn't buy my first pair of jeans until I was like 21,
Mm,
and I didn't even buy them. My girlfriend made me buy them at the time. So for me, style has always been comfort and sweatpants. It's like I just sweatpants. You see, I got my hoodie, and it's like I got my little blazer, but um, I would love to become more iconic. And
mm,
before, when I was in the dance scene, one thing I noticed, this is what intrigued me about you specifically, because you remind me of my friend, one of my best friends. His name is Tin Man, Eugene Tin Man Cleveland. And he was my first mentor. He was a break dancer, 10 years older than me. I was in love with his sister. So I loved his sister. I was young, whatever. But anyway, I moved in with him and five other break dancers. And when we became dance instructors for Kizomba, he was getting booked to teach, and I wasn't. And I was really frustrated and jealous because I'm competitive. And I was like, this motherfucker's not better than me. Like, I go into his class and correct his students without his knowledge because he's not teaching as well, you know? Um, but he was getting booked. I was like, okay, let me break this shit down. Why is he getting booked? He's 6'3". Okay. You go into a dance crowd. Who do you see? Oh, look, it's Tin Man. Right? He always had a hat and glasses. He didn't wear glasses, but as you can see.
And I just got my orange glasses back, and I'm so happy about it.
Yeah. So he always had a hat, bunch of different styles, and glasses, bunch of different styles. And his outfit was always matching and on point. So he was a tall ass dude, always had the outline and silhouette, the hat, this and that. And him and his dance partner always matched when they went places. So they're like, oh, they're together because so they were iconic and they were really easy to put on a poster and recognize out of a group, out of a crowd. So I was like, okay, well, this is when I've killed myself many times throughout my lifetime. Very, very dramatically. But when I realized that J Rise was born, Rising Phoenix, and red was my color, man bun, Rising Phoenix. So I would walk around, I would wear red pants, red shoes, had man bun. I was a man bun guy, right? So my top hat was my man bun.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, lo and behold, people started booking me to teach and travel, right? Mm-hmm. So I know that there is an external game to be played. When I was young in that phase, I went through a whole identity crisis where I was like, people don't even know who I really am. So I shaved my head and like, I went through a Britney Spears moment. Not proud, but I did it. But now I'm looking at wanting to put myself out there into the world more. And I know how to shift. I know the structure of identity. Okay. And I can go into people's subconscious mind and literally, I know how to pull out the raw material, the ore, and sort and sift the dirt and the things that are unnecessary or no longer relevant, and put that in a pile, and then pull out the knowledge, wisdom, and experience, and the values, and the needs and the vision. I can pull all that stuff out and structure it. The mind has structure, and emotions gives it color and energy. Okay. So if you structure someone's thought patterns and emotions in a certain way, it starts to create a shape, and you create a crystal. It's like I'm very into sacred geometry. So if you can structure according to the seed of life, which is a center and 6 around it, what happens is I find that consciousness forms around that.
Interesting.
Yeah, bro. I'm going into metaphysics.
We will have these conversations.
With this, I'm saying, I just want to talk to cool people and just fucking
fascinating.
Shoot the shit. Hey, do you guys want to learn the structure of consciousness?
I do.
According to some asshole on the internet.
I'm like, that sounds fascinating.
Yeah, and no wonder I failed English. I hated school.
I can't do language. Language didn't make sense. Still, doesn't exactly make sense to me.
Bro, I remember back in high school, I hated my English. She was hot as fuck, but I hated her. Her name is, I won't put her out there. Sorry. I caught myself. But I would sit in the back of the class, and I would put Shakespeare, the book, I would put it over my head and not even care. I would just be asleep. But she didn't like me and I didn't like her. She was like, James, did rigor mortis set in yet? And I didn't know what rigor mortis meant. So she's actually like, she's fucking drilling me in the middle of fucking high school class. I'm like, what is that? So I'm like, and of course, for anyone that doesn't know rigor mortis, I had to look it up. And basically it's when a dead body gets really stiff and rigid, and she basically said, are you dead? Fuck you.
Well,
but anyway,
a pretentious English teacher about it.
Yeah. Men the glasses, Shakespeare. Right. It's like, okay, drama kid. I love drama kids.
Right.
But you're not supposed to be a 40-year-old drama kid in English class, picking on students. Don't do that.
Don't be an English teacher doing that.
Don't be doing that. Not with me, bro. Anyway, but long story short, I sucked at school, but I'm really good at trauma, it comes to find out, and childhood healing. So when you start to structure consciousness, thoughts, and emotions, and I can even pull it up. I made a consciousness joystick.
Huh.
Yeah, so I've wanted to video game my. I've always loved RPGs.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever played Fable?
No, but I've heard it and I've seen it, a
Yeah,
bunch of it.
favorite game in the whole world. So anyway, at the center of this sacred geometry, so imagine you got a circle and then six concentric circles, which creates the Star of David. As above, so below, masculine, feminine, the equalizing heart force, right? So what happens is you put awareness in the center of that, and I use the eagle as the symbol for that, of like separated visual, like higher consciousness. If you can bring someone into awareness itself, you functionally put their mind into idle, into neutral.
Okay.
So if people are in a thought form, it's like they have the gas and they have momentum going in that direction.
Sure.
So if you can downshift and drop them into awareness itself, you put them into an alpha brainwave state.
Okay.
And from alpha, now as a hypnotist, you can just name something and their mind starts to go that direction.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I follow.
So the surrounding, and I can share more about this. I just want to give the basic layout.
Sure.
So you can take someone, these are the 6 directions that I move consciousness in. You can take someone to the realm of intention. And, I use intention to move people on the spiritual plane, because if you want to move physically, you need to move your body. You have to actually physically in 3 dimensions move. If you want to move on the emotional plane, you have to shift vibrational state, which is we categorize through emotions. We understand it through, I know that when I feel sad, I feel heavy and down. When I feel joy, I feel up and elated and expansive. That's how you move people on the emotional plane, is through vibration and state change in the body. And it's a chemical process too. If you want to move people in the mind, all you have to do is name something and describe it. And instantly their mind is transported. The mind is ruled by air. So if I just say beach, if I say beach, and then I just say, imagine the waves coming in and out, warm golden sand, sun shining down on your face, relaxing your shoulders, all of a sudden you can picture yourself on a beach.
Yeah, yeah. Do people
Mm-hmm.
have like preferred like areas that they sit in?
Tell me more.
Cuz that just triggered. I was like, I've heard a lot of things connected to um like there's this eastern idea of like the like I think there's like 5 different like types of people, one of them being like wind,
Mhm.
uh like
Yeah, the metal, earth,
fire,
air. Yep.
those ones, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, the mind being like wind being like, and I'm like, this, I've identified that I'm a pretty wind based person. I'm
Yep.
like mind being the wind because I spend all my time
Yep.
in my mind and been
Mm-hmm.
trying, the more I get out of my own mind, the better I
Mm-hmm.
find, kind of stuff. And so I was like, huh, I imagine I just sort of maybe sit in that sort of gear quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of people, so personalities are governed by different, and there's many different systems, right? There's the 5 elements. There's 4 elements. There's Vedic. There's Kapha, Pitta, and Vata. So
Mm-hmm.
that's fire, water, and earth,
Yeah.
right? So there's different typing systems, and you can pretty accurately judge someone based on their words and their way of being,
Mm-hmm.
who they are in that typing system. What I would say is our entire culture is governed by the mind and is governed by air.
That's true. That's
So
true.
most people here fall in that land, and they don't have as much access to the emotional landscape,
No,
which is
okay.
why we get sick, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Very good. So going back to the piece, if you want to move in the mental plane, all you have to do is language name it, and then I can transport someone anywhere I want. Without me saying the word hypnosis, I can hypnotize somebody. It's called conversational hypnosis. And you use
Interesting.
language and you point their awareness in a certain direction, and then they start to move that way, and you can start to guide journeys. Um, but if you want to move someone spiritually, and this is why this is important, you need intention. Thoughts alone don't move people spiritually. They can get the body and the emotions moving in the right way, but the spiritual energetic plane is higher than the mind. And if you look at the pyramid of Robert Dilts, this is why AA is so impactful, Alcoholics Anonymous. is because when you get to the top of the pyramid, you find identity. And identity rules over everything else. If you don't think you could do something, you won't be able to do it. And if you don't think you could do it, you won't do the behavior, and your environment's going to be impacted. But what's above you? What's above identity? And that is source, spirit, God, mission, vision, purpose, whatever it is, something bigger than you. That molds and shapes identity. So if you can tap people into a spiritual place, which is intention, and the metaphor I use, because it's hard to explain, is when you get to those loftier ideals like peace. What the hell is peace? You know, when you see the Dalai Lama or Thich Nhat Hanh, you feel it. But wow, I don't know what they're doing. What is it? And what they're doing is they're able to move themselves spiritually into a stream of consciousness with intention. I'm going to intend peace, and it's not a doing. It's imagine walking into a river. You're in peace. You aren't peace. You're in peace, and peace is washing through you, or joy is washing through you. And if you stay in that and practice staying in that river with intention, today I'm going to be peaceful. What happens is that river actually carries away thoughts, beliefs, emotions, behaviors. It carries that stuff away. This is why meditation and the Buddhist concepts, it's like metta, happiness, compassion. Compassion is a stream of consciousness, spiritual, that you intentionally set. And then compassion does you. Compassion molds you. It's not a you doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I follow that.
Yeah.
I'm very new to the whole... I actually found I've been following a Zen practice for the last year or so and doing meditation and stuff. And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
I find a lot of, reoccurring ideas and similar patterns
yes.
and sorts of things. So it is fascinating to... The idea that you need intention to move spiritually, as you said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I find very interesting.
Yeah. I figured that out this year. And if you look at Wayne Dyer, I believe Wayne Dyer, he wrote a bunch of books, and he is, I believe, from what I've tuned in, I can't remember the book, but I think it's called Intention. And basically, when you set intentions, it's like, this is what prayer does.
Okay.
Right? When you do a nightly prayer and you intend, like, you pick a word or value or something, it's like something bigger than you, something that is abstract, but you say, I'm going to intend this for the next 3 months or the next 2 months or something like that. And you continue to just bring your back. You find your way back into the stream. You miss it, then you find your way back. Miss it, find your way back. And over time, it starts to shape your mind and shape your heart and shape your actions. Whereas most people try to do stuff first, which is the hardest thing. Like, let me pick up this block. That's a lot of effort.
Right.
So anyway, that's just one. So the awareness, then intention, and I'll move very quickly. So you can move someone intentionally and spiritually. I can place someone in unconditional love and let unconditional love do the work. I don't need to do it.
Right.
Then you go to the feelings, thoughts. All right. So feelings, thoughts, parts. So inner child, the protector, the manager, the part of you that's ambitious, the part of you that's depressed, parts. And when you can break a part of you away from the real you at the center, now you can recode that part, because it's just a mental, emotional construct that happened through survival. So I can recode a survival mechanism to integrate it back. And then you take people to the past where those parts stemmed from.
Okay.
And then you take them to their beyond self or their higher self or their soul or their future self, whatever. And if you just like imagine, in the old school N64 games where you'd have to like spin the joystick like this and win the game.
Yeah.
So it took me 7 years to put this shit together. But if you just spin this circle faster and faster, what happens is you touch on the intention, love, feelings, thoughts, parts, past, soul, intention. If you just go fast and eventually get the RPM up, you just do, what am I feeling? What are my thoughts? What do I need? Feelings, thoughts, needs, feelings, thoughts, needs. And I can speed up the repetition process because new beliefs and identity is created through experience and process and repetition.
Right. Okay.
So if I can give you a simple practice that's just thoughts, feelings, and needs,
Right.
now I give you everything you need to heal whatever you didn't happen in childhood. Just do this in your mind. Whatever you are afraid of, just do this in your mind. And after 2 or 3 revolutions, you go from complete despair, hopelessness, then I don't really trust you. And then you go through again, it's like, oh, I feel relaxed. Now I feel happy. Whoa, I just want to go play and have fun. And you can do that in 2 minutes. Right? So that's a piece. And basically, I can help structure people's nervous systems and mind to create a new identity for their next level self. And I wanted to talk to you about it because having physical totems, objects, items that demarcate a change in internal. My hat is my thinking hat. My stone is my worry stone. My thing is this.
Yeah.
Now you have a totem or an amulet that anchors someone's new identity into the space, and then they can take identities off and put them on depending on what is most strategic in that time. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like the idea of connecting it to a physical manifestation of an object. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes.
Because, there is, like, admittedly, I have pretty closely personally attached my entire identity to this one sort of outfit and setup. It's actually part of a problem is that I don't have I almost can't take it off and put it on it. I'm working on that, but that is one of the things. Is like I almost can't like take it off, or else I'm like, that's not me. Who the fuck am I?
Who am I? Yes, J Rise. Yep, I know. I'm Britney Spears.
Yep. It's like, who would I be without my manifestations of my identity through physical objects?
Exactly. Keep going. I just gotta stand up.
Yeah. I would say, one of my I think key indicators of that is the color orange for me is actually sort of a level of safety. It's like, if I have something orange on, I'm like, I got my thing. I'm good. Actually, I don't know if anyone's noticed these. I have these like
nice
rubber wristbands.
Yep.
I started wearing these in 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the original one, but I stopped wearing it because it was gonna snap. But yeah, I and I like never take them off.
Yep.
And so it's like I've collected these pieces and components of myself, but I then attach myself to I'm like these orange pieces, that's a piece of me. Okay, I'll put that on. Hat, good. Orange feather, good. I got the orange shoes even, like the whole thing. I was like, and it's like, okay, does this thing fit my aesthetic? Great, now it's mine. If it doesn't, no, I don't want it.
And notice you said it's mine.
Yeah.
Which is different from it's me.
Interesting.
Yes. See, that's those little hypnotic linguistic shifts. You already know unconsciously these things aren't me, they're mine.
And that's probably a more recent development, admittedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
So I have to go in 2 minutes, but notice I just put on a blazer.
Yeah.
I stood up. Very different energy.
Very serious.
Businessman. I'm a teacher.
Right.
So what happens is, and I just have another call in 2 minutes, but I can break this down for you really quick. Every single object that you own that's in your space or that you allow into your space has a mental and energetic emotional tie to you. It means something. So if I were to take your glasses and give it to a grandma, she'd be like, oh, what is this? Whatever. But for you, they're my glasses. Who am I without them? So you have a construct inside of your mind, a mental emotional tie cord. So what happens is if you know how to see them and then transmute them, I don't like to say cut because that's like a little violent. But if you can honor the objects, if you can honor the relationship that you have with those bracelets and that, then what happens is you can dissolve the cords, the energy, the emotion. You can pull the emotion out. You can keep the thing or you can let it go. But what happens is you free up so much bandwidth in your nervous system because you don't have all this stuff. My mom was a pack rat.
Oh yeah.
Grandma stuff, my stuff, this stuff, that stuff.
Oh, the
Throw it all
history
out.
of the stuff.
That. And if you let it go, normally what I find is it's a protection mechanism to anchor you into reality and to anchor you to something that's familiar so you feel safe. So what people really need is to structure safety and to then carry safety within so that if I'm with or without, I'm still me. And I know that I can show up and be of value, have significance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, we're putting this up.
Yeah.
I love you. We're fun. We're fun. We're doing this.
Time. Yeah.
And I'd love to have you on more. And anywhere you want to put this, we can co-create. And yeah, let's chat about potential collaboration in the future where you do the external, help people with style, because I'm not really stylish. My wife does this. And I could potentially help with all of the trauma, pain.
Yeah. Good. I like it. Yeah. We'll definitely.
I'm my brother. We'll send you lots of love. I got to jump on my next call.
Best of luck. See ya.
Have a good one, bro. Peace.